Bring cozy charm to your space with these Cottagecore Fall DIYs. Join me as I create some budget-friendly fall decor. Welcome to the Chic Show. Today's playlist is hosted by Rustic and Lace DIY and Krista's Crafty Life. You'll find their channels and a link to the playlist in the description box below, so be sure and check them out. For project number 1, I used this silicone mold from Dollar Tree, and this actually worked just fine. I poured silicone in and let it sit overnight, and I actually liked the pumpkin upside down rather than the way it was actually shaped. So I painted it black with spray paint, and then I went over it with a coat of DIY's patina paint in iron. I'm sure if you watch my channel very often, you've seen me do this a million times. The second coat, after the first coat is dry, you apply a wet coat again and then spray it with the patina spray and then let it sit. I like to let it sit overnight to do its thing. It will rust up beautifully. Now this is just a scrap wood piece that I had that I painted with 2 coats of black chalk paint in ink by Waverly. Once the paint was completely dry, I used IOD's ephemeral type stamp, and I used a gold ink pad and stamped straight onto the front of this wood block. Now that our pumpkin is all rusted and orangey, I'm going to glue that onto the front of this block. Now I'm using Gorilla Glue for this, and if you see the top, I did pour some resin into that mold where the stem is, so I used that as well. This is an easy fall craft that has a big impact. I like the dark and moody feel to this piece. These pumpkins I got last year in a set of 3 from Hobby Lobby, and they turned out to be maybe just over $1 each. So for this one, I'm just removing that bow, and I'm going to add one of these transfers from IOD from last year's, or it might have been the year before, Christmas transfers, and I'm kind of trimming it off as I go, trying to decide if I want to extend it around the edge or not. Ultimately, I decided not to, but there was part of this little apple that you see over on the left that I did want to include because I really liked the color and the contrast with the orange and the rest of the colors. So once I get this completely rubbed down, I'm going to add that little apple back on. I trimmed around the apple and then just rubbed it right on top of the rest of the transfer. So this didn't look just like a sticker sitting on top of this pumpkin. I did sand around the edges. I sanded over the top just to give it more of a distressed look. Next, I'm going to seal it in with some clear wax. So I'm going to apply a coat of clear wax to the entire piece, and then I'm going to go over it with some black wax to kind of give it more of an aged look and to bring out some of the black in this piece. By adding the clear wax first, I'm able to wipe back this black wax a little bit easier so that it's not too dark. That clear wax kind of acts like an eraser, and even if you forget to do that the first time, you can go over the black wax with clear wax and it will pull back some of that black. To dress this piece up a bit without actually adding a bow, I just strung on some of these brown and black beads onto some jute twine and just tied them around the stem. I think this budget-friendly home decor piece just screams cottagecore. This is probably the easiest DIY you will ever see. This piece is from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to pull that hanger piece off, and then I have these little wood pieces that you see here on the right that I'm going to glue on to the bottom of this piece. And I'm using Tite Bond Quick and Thick for this, and this will make a quick and easy fall candle riser. As simple as this is a really cozy home decor piece. I think you'll love this Cottagecore DIY for fall. I recently thrifted this adorable little basket for 25 cents. And I picked up one of these larger cutting boards from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that for the center of this piece. This gorgeous decoupage paper is by Roycycled, and I got it in my maker's box by Sonnet's Garden Blooms, last month. So I'm going to be trimming this piece down, and I'm going to decoupage it onto the top of this cutting board. I did cut it larger than the piece because I do want to go back and sand the edges so it'll have a very nice finished edge. Now with decoupage paper, it's a little thicker than tissue paper, so I did spritz it with water, and then I pulled back the top, and I'm using, this time I'm using matte Mod Podge to adhere my paper to the cutting board. So I'm making a little starter strip here, making sure I'm covering all those edges very well, and then I will lay that paper back over that area and cover it again with more Mod Podge. Once I finish that spot, I'll lift up the bottom of the paper and finish adhering that down and covering it with more Mod Podge. Are able to lift it up here and there to make sure that you get the wrinkles out, and then I'll set it aside to dry. Once it's completely dry, I did come back with my little finger sander and I sanded off the excess papers. You could certainly adhere this to the middle of this basket if you wanted to, but I wanted to make a tray out of it that I could also change out and use for other things. So I just set my cutting board in the basket, and that way I can flip it over and have a plain side, or I could decoupage something totally different on the other side. I love using thrifted finds, natural textures, and soft autumn tones. I think it gives off a warm vintage feel, perfect for cottagecore fall decor. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I certainly invite you to do so. It's completely free. And also, if you want to check out my website, it's lachicshop.com. If you're looking for more inspiration, be sure and check out the playlist in the description box below or this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.